The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Did you miss us? Welcome back to Nerd Academy Movie Club, the show where your favorite nerds sit down and talk about some movies. We took a little mini hiatus on Movie Club because people's schedules were a nightmare. So I was like, you know what? We just take a break from the show for a little bit. We are back. We're back with a bonus episode. We're back with like a current review because, like I said before, this is going to be the show where we review non-like Nerd Academy specific movies. And today would be one such movie, if you can call it a movie, and not just a glorified ad for HBO Max. But we're going to get into that. Devin, Armel, my co-host with the co-host.
Oh, yes. We're talking about a highly anticipated sequel today. You're right, though. Glorified commercial. Holy crap. The marketing team right now is just like, whatever. So, guys, we're talking about Space Jam 2. Recently came out.
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Jam 2.
Sorry.
Because, okay, I'm just going to get one thing off my chest right now. And I said this on Twitter the other day, but I'm going to reiterate it here. I hate like really badly, and I'm going to own it. It's my main fandom's fault. This is Star Wars' fault. With a title like The Force Awakens, okay? It has given birth and kickstarted the era of like obnoxious and unoriginal sequel titles where like words like legacy, rise of, insurgency, resurrection, like just slap one of those at the end of your movie title if it's a sequel to something that nobody was asking for, and then you're on and popping. Just like that little piece of like, I don't like it. I don't like that every sequel is rise of, legacy of, the legacy. You slap a "the" in front of something and it's different now. It just annoys me. I don't know why. I don't know what the alternative is. I don't know how else you would go about like titling a sequel.
Would you prefer to just have a 2 after it?
No, because I like the subtitles more. But
Fair
like,
enough.
what's the legacy? What is the legacy in this movie? Whose legacy?
Braun's legacy, I guess.
But
he's the king, and his son's like a loser. So,
oh wow, you're coming in hot.
This movie was
Devin, hot off of hating Return of the Jedi, is now attacking a child.
I'm not gonna like apologize. This movie has a lot of problems, Jared. Aside from the subtitles after the like franchise title.
Franchise titles.
Warner Brothers, man, another franchise.
Dude,
coming in hot.
I can't stand Warner Brothers. I at this point, like, because here's the thing. Disney does this shit all the time.
Yeah.
But it's fun when Disney does it. They do it better. Look at Ralph Breaks the Internet. That scene where Vanellope's hanging out with all the Disney princesses. It's a great scene. It's funny. Yeah. It's cute. She's like hanging out on like Disney.com, right? And there's like Iron Man and a couple of stormtroopers. Like, it's because it makes sense. It's because it makes sense, first of all. Yeah. Like, these are one of those like, oh, hey, here's like a 40 or 50-year-old trying to write how the internet works, and that never works. That has never, ever, ever worked. The serververse, all of that nonsense, like that part's just dumb. Like all of it's dumb. Like the biggest problem here is that in the original Space Jam, he got sucked into Looney Tunes world. It wasn't that Looney Tunes existed within the serververse, and I can't tell if this sequel is aware of Space Jam the movie as a movie, or if like they actually did Space Jam. You know what I mean? Like I can't remember. Like I can't tell by the way they refer to the first movie.
Yeah.
If it was a movie for them, like that was a job, that was a gig doing Space Jam, or if they were literally put in a situation where they had to help Michael Jordan beat the Monstars. You know what I mean? So like that frustrates me. It's just little things, right? Like you can
it really
make a
does
movie.
feel like that. Like it does feel like, damn, it's so weird. I hear exactly what you're coming from, because it's like, I don't know. I guess how much of it is like in real life, like the Looney Tunes aren't probably busy right now, so like they went out to other planets in the cyberverse.
No, except for them being a part of every other franchise.
Yeah.
And the fact that WB was like, we already did DC Comics. What else can we market to these kids? You know, we're just going to do DC a second time, but like Wonder Woman's on her own planet.
Yeah.
Because you really badly want to do the Lola Bunny as a Themysciran, as an Amazonian, which like, that's cool. Whatever.
That's honestly one of the only parts of like, as far as bringing in characters from like the other Warner Brothers like worlds go, like the Wonder Woman part was actually like my favorite one. I don't know if it's just because I love the score so much, or if it was just like, I don't know what the deal was, but when I saw that, I was just like, all right, cool. This is cooler than seeing King Kong for like the 8th time in a movie since 2015, or like the Iron Giant. Like it literally all started with Ready Player One. You remember that movie?
And I hate that movie. I hate Ready Player One. I don't like Ready Player One.
I have my problems with Ready Player One. But like,
don't like Ready Player One.
At the time, as like a fan of movies, that was the first time, and old video games, I guess. It was like the first time I'd seen like all of these characters on screen together, and it was very fun for me at like 17, 18 years old. But if we're just gonna keep harping on the fact that like, oh, listen, we own all these characters, let's just find a way to like put them all in one movie. Even just seeing them, like little kids would go nuts. Parents would be like,
"Our little kids going nuts. Our little kids going nuts."
I don't think so.
Because I'm going to address my name here. I laughed at Wile E. Coyote. Witness me. That was funny. Because I've seen Mad Max Fury Road.
I've not.
I looked at my 9-year-old sister while we were watching Space Jam during that scene. And like, this is literally me half of the movie. Hey, Kira, do you get that joke? Do you understand the thing they're referencing here? No. Yeah.
Did she like the movie?
Yeah.
Just overall. Okay.
Yeah, because it was cartoons and like
that's what I was like. That's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. Like how much of the cartoons brings in the kids, I guess.
You know, and like, but here's the thing though. My sister's kind of like outside of that curve though, because like, she actually watches Looney Tunes. I don't know how many kids today watch Looney Tunes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like new stuff, old stuff. Like she likes Looney Tunes quite a bit. So like she was sold because of the Looney Tunes, right? But every 30 seconds, like, oh, like she understood the superhero stuff. Obviously.
Okay.
I mean, like Mad Max doesn't get the joke. Austin Powers
Matrix.
The Matrix. Yeah, The Matrix. Like, oh yeah, 2021. Great. Right on time.
Yeah, right.
Be making Matrix jokes. You know, like
it is right on time. Fourth one's coming.
The fourth one's coming, but like until the
Plant
fourth one comes
seed,
out,
Jarod.
Matrix is not in the cultural zeitgeist the way it used to be. It feels like this movie, especially with that Granny Matrix gag, feels so much like out of time. Like this movie feels like it is a product of the early 2000s because it has a protracted Matrix gag. And like every comedy movie tried to have a Matrix joke, and they've all aged like milk. An old hat in 30 seconds. The only movie I can think of that has a Matrix a Matrix gag that I still laugh at might be Shrek.
Shrek's has a Matrix gag?
Whenever Robin Hood and the Merry Men jump Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey in the forest, and Fiona's beating them all up, she has a thing where she's like frozen in midair and then does like the double kick, right? But like that one only works for me because like she does the thing where she's like, "What the heck?" All right, like she just like she calls attention to the joke, and like they almost make fun of the concept of doing a Matrix gag.
I see what you're picking up what you're putting down now.
So like that's why that one works for me. But like, and every joke with Granny is the same.
It's not a lot of original. Although it is like the Looney Tunes, though. Like they have,
Yes, because the Looney Tunes regularly have Granny doing like crazy ass martial arts and stuff like that.
Well, hey man, kids love when the elderly are like doing non-elderly things.
I know, but it's just so unoriginal. I get it. I understand it. But these are one of those instances where you have okay, how do I put this? You break a little bit of my ability to go, all right, whatever. Every so often throughout a movie like this. Like you have like the weird ass way. Okay, I'm gonna stop for a second. Devin, I think you have numbers.
I do have some numbers, guys.
We're like 15 minutes in and have not talked about numbers. I apologize.
Space Jam: A New Legacy came out 2 weeks ago, July 16th. It currently has a 4.3 out of 10 on IMDb, a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, 37% on Metacritic. Stars LeBron James. Ryan Coogler produced this. I didn't know that till this exact moment. Oh my God. Oh, sorry. Box office. And the last 2 weeks, it's made around $60 million with a budget of $150. $150. You think if this shit came out like pre-pandemic, like, do you think it would have made like 60?
It absolutely would have done. It absolutely would have done way better at the box office. It also has to compete with itself on HBO Max.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they get the collective total though. I don't know if they're like competing with themselves.
No, I'm saying competing with itself in terms of like people who are watching it on HBO Max versus people who are buying a ticket.
It's weird that Disney Plus is doing that premiere access thing where you got to pay like a lot more to watch, like Black Widow in your living room. And then HBO Max just been like divvying out movies since Mortal Kombat or maybe even before that. Like, yeah,
beginning of 2021. Well, technically started with Wonder Woman 84.
You're right. That was the first one on there.
Well, HBO Max's model has been weird. On the whole, I think it is going to end up in the long run being detrimental for Warner Brothers. We'll see how things pan out. Obviously we have the Suicide Squad in 2 weeks at time of record.
Wow, that's in 2 weeks. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, we have hella movie reviews on this channel for a hot minute for like the rest of the year.
This is exciting.
Yeah. It is exciting. But all that said, Yeah, stars LeBron James and Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and Lola Bunny and Wile E. Coyote and Granny and Don Cheadle, who we're going to talk all about algae rhythms soon. But I hate saying the name. It's so stupid. Oh, my God.
Like, what, algae rhythm?
Algae rhythm. Shut up. Don Cheadle. And that Scorpion King CGI at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Does WB own Scorpion King? Was that a reference to how bad that looked? Anyway, I'm going apeshit on a kid's movie, and I'm sorry. But like for any movie.
Sure.
You slowly whittle away at my ability to just kind of accept shit.
I would say I have that problem too.
So
had that problem.
I have my so at the very jump, at the very beginning, we have scan complete on the spider and he's scanning shit on his phone, and then it comes into the computer, and it's all this nobody understands how this kind of technology works, and it's fine, I get it, but it's a movie, it's whatever. But also there's a part of me that's I can tell that somebody who doesn't understand how this kind of stuff works is writing. And it's just one of those things where it's an older generation just trying to aggressively market nostalgia to a younger generation. And it always comes off as disingenuous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's in the same reason where it's why did you put The Matrix and Mad Max in this kids movie? I don't understand. I don't understand who that is for. How many other animated kid properties are out there that WB could have had crossover with this? Doing DC Comics makes sense because kids know who Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman are. You know? Maybe leave the Game of Thrones one in there as a joke for the parents. But also, that one feels weird. You know what I mean? Because it has Foghorn Leghorn dressed as Daenerys Targaryen saying something that Daenerys Targaryen doesn't say. You know what I mean? It's going back to that South Park bit with the member bears. You remember Game of Thrones? Remember? I remember. You know? And again, I say this I'm not some kind of I know I sound like a hypocrite because I'm a Disney shill, right? I love, Star Wars came out, and I love Star Wars, and Star Wars is horrible doing this kind of thing. It's just they're aggressively hawking nostalgia and fan service at you. But by the same token, they do it. Disney does it better. Disney doesn't make me notice it as quickly and aggressively. Having Foghorn Leghorn dressed up like Daenerys Targaryen on the back of a dragon saying winter is coming feels very much hey, did you know the WB owns HBO Max, and owns HBO, and HBO Max is the HBO thing, and that's the Warner Brothers streaming service, and we have Game of Thrones on there. Do you remember Game of Thrones? Well, here's this Looney Tune dressed as a Game of Thrones character quoting Game of Thrones while riding a dragon. Only problem is that's not something Daenerys ever said. It feels like somebody who is tangentially aware of Game of Thrones wrote that line.
Sounds like a lack of responsibility.
And again,
accountability.
You could go however many directions about it. It just everything about this movie feels disingenuous. It doesn't feel like it wants me. It feels like a commercial.
Yeah.
It feels hollow, And again,
it feels like they marketed it to LeBron. It's listen, kids loved the first Space Jam, and but now, it's a new age. We got all this technology, and the movie's tech based, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And you're going to be able to voice act and interact with all these different characters from all of our other properties because it's all in this cyberverse that we can do whatever the hell we want it. When actually Don Cheadle pulls off some of the greatest cyber terrorism I think we could say has ever happened. It pretty much goes unquestioned or called at all at the end of the movie. I think he's arguably more powerful than Pennywise if you can suck him in through the phone. into like that universe. Which, by the way, had no repercussions, not whatsoever. They won the game. They get pixelated out. Go to basketball. No, sorry, go to game camp, and then Bugs is there.
And that's the kind of kid movie stuff that like I'm fine with.
Oh, that's what pissed me off. Like,
see, I wouldn't blink at that because it's like it's a kid's movie. We're not going to dwell on the fact that like airplanes probably crashed into buildings.
Yeah.
While everybody was like watching them play basketball. What does bother me is the crowd at the basketball game.
Yeah, no one's screaming in panic.
Like, it's just
everyone's very calm.
Everyone's calm. Okay, all the people who got sucked in are calm, which I find it's a kid's movie. We're not going to make people scream in terror. But like, why? With all like the background characters, like the WB characters that they wanted to have there. They have a bunch of White Walkers from Game of Thrones hanging out with Pennywise, hanging out with Mr. Freeze, hanging out with Danny DeVito's Penguin. Right? So and Jim Carrey's The Mask. So they're all hanging out and they're all like going apeshit for the basketball game. You know who else is just acting really weird? Batman and Robin. They pull so much focus. Like to an insane level. They were just going,
oh.
Sorry for anybody who's only listening to this show. I'm going into convulsions like Batman and Robin do in the background of the basketball game.
Jarod is flailing limbs.
I'm flailing. But that's what they're doing. And it just feels weird. Why put them there if you're just going to have them just be like idly cheering?
Because it's funny, I mean? Jarod. It's
funny. I didn't think it was funny.
You take a hard-driven point home, stone cold, serious superhero, but you know what? God damn it, he loves basketball. More importantly, he loves LeBron James.
It just didn't work for me. Like having the whole massive crowd of characters there, it just didn't work for me. I'll tell you what else didn't work for me.
Is it?
No. Okay. We're not on algae rhythm yet. We're not on algae rhythm yet. I am saving the algae rhythm talk.
Okay. What else did you like?
Really, really was upset by the fact that they turned LeBron into a cartoon. I really was like legitimately upset by that. And you know what? Does it always work? No. Did it even work in Space Jam, the first one? Debatable. I thought it was cute and cool and funny to have Michael Jordan acting against things that weren't there. And I understand for an athlete who, he's not exactly a great actor,
He's been doing commercials since 2000.
It may have been difficult.
Bullshit.
It may have been difficult.
He can turn it on, though. He can. Some of his lines, I was just like, hell yeah. Like, that's a basketball playing father, best in the world. And, like, he's interacting with things appropriately. And other times, he would speak, and I would just, like, scratch my head and be like, all right, LeBron wasn't feeling it today. And like, I feel like the director, the producer, everyone else was also just like, okay. Like, you want a sandwich? Would that make you feel better? LeBron's like, hell out of my face. And like,
well, okay. Well, first of all, he is incredibly like he goes back and forth between being unintentionally hilarious and incredibly uncharismatic. Like, I don't know. I feel like
you just pretty little bowed what I said, but like in a much, much better way.
No, I mean just as a no. I didn't mean to just like rip off what you were saying. I meant watching the movie. I like as somebody who's like not super invested in like many sports ball or basketball in particular, that I've heard stories and heard people talk about the idea that LeBron is this like showboaty attention whore and like likes everything to be about him. So after hearing stories like that, the fact that he cut this, that he signed the dotted line after reading the script, where it was made very clear that a good portion of the conflict in this movie is based around him being a hard-headed attention whore. Like, I was like,
I don't think he read the script before he signed.
Huh?
I don't think he read the script before he signed. I genuinely don't. I think his manager was like, "Yo, we got a meeting with Warner's," and like it was literally like the meeting we saw, but like different in the movie. And he was just like, "Shit!" Like, I appeal to a new generation of kids. That's a whole new like 5 years of shoes I can make for Nike. Put another $100 million in my back pocket. Put like 18 million from this movie in my back pocket. He's like, "I'm just gonna buy Ohio," and I don't think LeBron read the script. I don't think he really cared. I think he was probably just like, "Can I use my actual sons in this?" And they were just like, we think that for your safety and like the child's safety and like namesake, we're just going to hire some actors. And I don't know. Maybe at that point he was like, "Well, it is a chance."
Wait, whoa. These aren't his actual kids.
No.
Seriously?
I promise. I looked it up last night because I was just like, I know his one son's like 16. He's getting there. And like, I know he has a bunch of offers from colleges and like, he's not going to go. Probably just go straight into the NBA if he can. But like, and his other son is younger, but not, I think, like the same age as that kid.
Dude, no.
Why does that change anything?
It changes
everything. It would have been worse
if
it was his actual kid.
It changes everything.
Because then we're just watching like an extremely wealthy family make a movie.
It changes everything.
Those are not his children.
Oh my God.
Fake names and everything.
The chemistry he and Dom had was just so... It felt real. That literally you like the short list of things about this movie I unironically love. I kind of dislike now. I'm kind of upset. Like it's Space Jam. It's already a commercial. Have his fucking kids in it. Like let's lean all the way into the nepotism.
They trust LeBron James because of his name. They don't trust his kids to carry this movie.
I'm legitimately upset now. Like I'm actually disappointed by this revelation. But
so yeah, I don't think he read the script. I think Don Cheadle read the script. I think Don Cheadle, we don't have to get fully there yet, but I think Don Cheadle was just like, you know what?
I'm between Avengers movies.
Yeah. He's like, you know what? I got time off. I like LeBron. And I can be like, and I get an incredible amount of screen time. Like Don Cheadle might have been the lead of this freaking movie. But
perhaps too much.
I think overall too much. I think he did a good job, and I think he had a lot of fun with it for being like, a kid's animated half-not supervillain in a movie. Like, I don't know. I had fun with Don Cheadle, especially whenever he got mad.
There are decisions that were made. Okay, it's time. We're talking about Algae Rhythm. Why did you make it? Okay, again. It's a kid's movie. I get it. Whatever. Just don't think too hard about it. You can tell me not to do it. I'm going to. I don't understand why, okay, first of all, Warner Brothers, this company that Warner Brothers doesn't even understand any of the IP that it owns. Did you see that interview with David Goyer that came out yesterday at time of recording?
No.
Where they were doing like a test screening for like some Warner Brothers head honchos for Man of Steel. Like executives and shit were watching it. And they said that they wanted them to change the scene where they used Superman's pod that he arrived on Earth in to destroy Zod's ship. And they were like, well, don't destroy his ship. He has to get back to Krypton.
One of the executives said that?
Yes. Like it was a note. It was a note that David Goyer was given. Right? So that's what we're dealing with at Warner Brothers. Okay? So you're going to take that just level of like apathy and non-understanding of like anything of what you're doing. of course we're gonna do the storyline. We're like, oh yeah. Also, we kind of did the singularity where like we have this like complex AI that can like suck you into a computer. Like there's
Most
something
powerful
less
computer on the
realistic
planet.
about. There's something less realistic and story breaking about that to me than like pan-dimensional aliens drop Michael Jordan in the universe where the Looney Tunes exist and the Looney Tunes actively work for Warner Brothers, or do it Looney Tunes back in action and Who Framed Roger Rabbit did. The cartoons are just part of our world. Do that version. We're like, the tunes just exist among us. You know? I don't know.
I don't know.
Just
That one's hard.
like it's hard, but it's also funny because you get a lot of really funny jokes that you can get out of it.
And
about
if you
how
bring
like
them in-
Daffy Duck has a contract with Warner Brothers. You know, that's funny. Like that's funny, and you can do a lot with that.
You know what you can't do with that though?
What?
Is have Superman and King Kong and the Iron Giant in your movie.
So bad. It's so bad. But like I don't understand the whole like they get sucked into the internet thing. You know? So like that doesn't work for me off the top.
I didn't get so much of the plot. Like I get Algie's mad. He brings in LeBron's son, who's a video game designer and 12, to make him hate his dad so that he can like have them in this verse forever.
Do you want your dad to respect you? Do you want your dad to respect you?
Manipulation level like over 9,000. They're like,
so funny. I laughed so hard at that line. Do you want him to respect you? What?
He's like,
did you just
shit.
say? What did he say? Like
that's a super villain, man. I think I don't know. I thought
he's a
Don was fun to
marvelous
watch.
one.
Don Cheadle literally pulled an Ultron. But anyways, yeah, literally just wanted to make him hate his dad. I thought he was gonna like manipulate the kid into getting his dad to sign the deal so that like Algae Rhythm would finally have like something to do in this world or like feel validated or something. But no, he literally just wanted to keep them all there forever. And like
It was just so weird. Like there's just so
It's
many
simple.
weird decisions that get made with Algae Rhythm. Like he's just like, yeah, on one hand he's terrifying and then on the other he's ridiculous. I don't know. That's just another thing that didn't work for me. Like the Monstars in the first one, it works. Why? Because it's just Danny DeVito playing this fat alien being a dick. He just wants to enslave the Looney Tunes. Okay, fine. We'll go with it.
when
Sure.
Don Cheadle's just like, I'm gonna keep you here forever.
Don Cheadle's like, I have this master plan. I've been spited by LeBron James because he looked at this and said, Batman v. Mr. Freeze LeBron stupid. And then they're like, oh no, he's just Steve Jobs, but Don's Cheadle, you know? Like, I just... The Don Cheadle word of the day is pain.
I don't know, man. I think Don,
with that? Are you familiar with that?
the word of the day thing, I'm not.
Oh, there's this account on Twitter called Don Cheadle Word of the Day. And it's just this like picture of him that looks like mildly uncomfortable. And it's normally shit like pain, agony. Hold on. Vamp. I gotta look it up now.
I do think Don Cheadle really earned his paycheck, though. I think he's one of the only people
I
that
think he did.
Like, the wife was fine. I've seen her in other things. I don't know what her name is, but like, liked her. Fair enough. You know, did a good job. I love that Glenn from The Walking Dead was in the movie. Haven't seen him in ages, so that was nostalgic.
Where the hell is it? Don Cheadle Word of the Day. There it is.
Were you upset that there wasn't an end credit scene?
If there was an end credit scene, I think I might have lost my mind.
It had to have been
They
Don Cheadle,
tried
just
to
like,
do
turning on a laptop screen and just been like it probably would have been like Steph Curry's laptop. Like, that's the face he made whenever they pitched the movie.
He's like, Iron Man's dead. No, again, it's just like algae rhythm where like everything he said made me laugh, but not for the right reason. And then there's that weird flashback where he's dressed like a pimp. Why?
When he's like, they might have just been like, let's be outlandish. They're just like, outlandish sells. Like, these kids are insensitive with today's media. We need to either blow their gasket or go home. How do we blow their gasket? Give them everything. Give them everything.
I know, but like, again, I feel like there are some writers and some producers and some people who know better than to put the black guy in a full purple suit with like a silver hat. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like you're just trying to make a cheap pimp joke, and we're back in the 2000s again. We got like stupid pimp jokes and goddamn Matrix Granny. You know, like, so much of this movie feels like it has already aged past the point of being able to sell it to somebody.
Were the writers the same writers? Do you know?
I don't know. I know the director of the original Space Jam took an absolute shit on this the other day.
That's interesting. Ryan Coogler helped freaking write the movie.
No, he did not.
Under the screenplay by Ryan Coogler, Terrence Dance, Sev Ohanian. Sorry if I butchered that. Keenan Coogler, another Coogler, Jewel Taylor. I don't know who so many of these freaking people are, but like, Ryan Coogler's a big name, and I feel like Warner Brothers would trust him. Here's
what I will say: when you look at a screenplay that has that many writers attached to it.
Yeah,
there is a lot of different.
It's so like I don't know, just everything.
And I'm sure that like the best elements of this are probably Coogler. The elements of like LeBron trying to reach out to his kid, that works. That's cute. It doesn't work for me now because I thought it was his actual kid and I thought it was really cute.
This is not The Pursuit of Happiness.
Damn it. But like, that stuff worked for me. That element worked for me.
Yeah, I like, the message needs to be important. It is a kid's movie. It needs to be like evident and addressed and then resolved. So like, if you have to have those elements, I don't hate it. I'm not surprised LeBron's a very like, I had to grind in the streets to be like the best at basketball, and like, you need to too. And he's like, no, like, that was you, Dad. Then like, I want to be me. And then like, he realizes it in the basketball game to save the world. And like,
and it's really cute. Also, be as loony as you want outside these lines, but in these lines, we do things my way. Fundamentals. I'll show you that kind of king. What that line? I just. Do you think LeBron made a demand that they kept calling him King James? Like, do you think that was a decision he made?
I honestly think Warner Brothers was just like,
or they just completely leaned into calling him King James every 30 seconds.
I think if they're just like, if we're gonna like potentially shit on your character by making you seem like, a coach over a dad and like kind of selfish or airheaded or like whatever you want to call it, we also have to like blow him under the table a little bit. And like, you're King James, the greatest highlight reels everywhere, beginning of the movie, end of the movie. Like, people won't know who you are, LeBron, like what you've done, but we're kind of going to make you look like an asshole father for like an hour.
An hour of this movie is you not being the good guy.
The first 45 minutes were so slow to me. I was like struggling. But go ahead.
I don't blame you. I did not like the first 40 minutes either. What is your like? what bit worked for you the least? Like, what was like the most like, oh sweet Jesus, please make it stop for you, if you had it?
There was a reference. I don't remember which one it was, but there were several moments in the movies where there were like montages of the other properties. And I can't remember if the one I'm thinking of was in one of the earlier montages or the late montages. It was either The Matrix or something else, but it was like right before like the basketball game started.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably like, it might have been one of the Matrix calls back. I don't think it was the granny kicking one. Maybe it wasn't the Matrix. Anyways, they referenced like something else that they owned, and I was very just like, this is gratuitous. This is egregious, not gratuitous. This is very like too much. Like you guys are like just choking the shit out of yourselves, forcing in all these other properties. What the hell was it? It was like 2 minutes before the basketball game started. I don't know. It might have just even been a joke or a reference about something, but I was very just like, roll my eyes. Do I want to go to bed and finish this tomorrow?
I know the Rick and Morty one made me want to put my head in a blender.
Oh, my buddy actually really liked that one. He was like, no shit. Because like, I don't know. I think that's the one I expected the least. I just didn't realize like Rick and Morty could show up. And then I was like, this is like the most obvious thing they could show up for. Some weird shit going on in some weird dimension.
Make them play basketball. Make them play basketball.
Yeah,
show up, make them play basketball.
Just have him like doing weird technology shit and like making horrible jokes and like,
oh, he's yours now, man. Rick and Morty's one of those things that is completely like, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to watch it. I don't like, it's just one of those like it's been completely ruined for me by other people who watch it. That it's like, I don't think I have the steam in me to put this on anymore. Like, I've watched a couple episodes. It's okay. It's not bad. I like it. It's fine. But like, I will have to like, it's going to be one day where I have like the desire to power through it and choose not to be annoyed by the types of fans who ruined it for me. But like the Rick and Morty cameo, I was just like, you're not helping. You're not helping this movie. Your presence here is hurting at best.
It just felt like a dependency on their other properties.
Yeah, they didn't have a movie. It was
like we couldn't make Space Jam 2 with LeBron James and Don Cheadle. Like there's I don't think it needed to be as much. Obviously, I don't think that they think kids will care. They'll probably just be like, this is so cool. Like I watch Justice League animated movies and like they're in this movie. Like my older brother watches Rick and Morty. Those characters are in this movie.
That's another thing though. Is it like, but even with the DC animated stuff, that's not, most kids aren't seeing those versions of those characters.
Yeah.
That's the Bruce Timm stuff. Like that was like long blonde-haired, hook-handed Aquaman and shit.
That's a very different Justice League than what these kids are going to be like, or are right now experiencing. Like if any kid watches Justice League War, or like Dawn for Atlantis and shit like that, like the new animated stuff, like New 52 animated stuff, they're going to just
nothing like what they were. Yeah,
it looks nothing like it. That is weird though. Like I saw it and was just like in my mind. I thought it was cool.
Do you remember Batman the Animated Series? I remember Batman the Animated Series. Do you remember Justice League Unlimited?
I remember Justice League Unlimited. That's why I don't get why they did that version. Like I thought it was cool when I saw it. Maybe they were just trying so hard to do something for everybody. Like every 5-10 years, like we need to grab something out of that. And when you make
something for everybody, you've made something that nobody likes.
It frickin' is.
It's okay to appeal to certain like most common denominators, but like again, The Rise of Skywalker is a lesson in how you can't make a movie for everybody. They tried to make a movie for people who love the new stuff, for people who hate the new stuff, for people who don't even know what Star Wars is, and for just your average Joe who like has seen the Star Wars movies and doesn't have any hard and fast opinions about it. They tried to make a movie for all four of those people, and I know very few of any of those who liked it. You know, same thing here. You know, here's like a Mad Max Fury Road joke. Here's a Matrix joke. Here's a joke about the animated DC universe. You know, okay. Also, like Bugs Bunny turns into Big Chungus. That got a big laugh out of me. I'm not even going to pretend. I out loud went Big Chungus. Like I said it like loudly. I also knew it was coming, but it still caught me off guard.
There weren't too many parts of this movie that made me laugh.
I was laughing throughout most of it, but not for the right reason.
Like I was having fun.
I was hysterical watching this.
I only really had fun after like the first 50 minutes. Like eventually, like music choices were enough for me to be like, all right, like up tempo, like things are gonna start happening. This should be fun. But like, I don't know. I wouldn't say I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. Outside of seeing Justice League.
The actual basketball game itself was fun. I really liked
I like the power.
Once they actually started playing basketball, that was really cool and fun.
Yeah, I had fun. I had fun with that. I wouldn't say I was like thoroughly entertained. There were definitely things that I was just like, just go with it.
I was thoroughly entertained. I also will say, aside from the basketball stuff itself that I really liked, my little sister was hysterical at the end because she thought they killed Bugs Bunny. And for a second there, I did too. I was laughing and I was like, are they killing off Bugs? Like, are they actually going to have him like, that's all, folks? Like, I'm just waiting for Lola to be like, Bugs, you can rest. We're gonna be okay. Like yeah. I was holding my head. I'm like, they are not actually going to traumatize all these kids like this. They are not going to kill Bugs Bunny in front of God and everybody right now.
I kind of thought that they would. Like after they like got pixelated, I was just like, all right, end credits seemed either going to be Bugs back in this world or Don Cheadle like in some AI room screaming and yelling, hatching a new plan. But no, we didn't see Don Cheadle again after the game ended. He was just
they killed Algae Rhythm. They murdered him in cold blood.
He got posterized.
Yeah, I know. But then the poster got ripped up.
It's still like, there's no way he's actually dead. The dude's literally Ultron in like this world. Like he literally like applying logic.
Okay, well, we inevitably get a third Space Jam.
Doing
what?
I said applying logic is something I need to stop doing.
Well, in terms of bits that didn't work for us, I cannot tell you the deeps, like how deep of a sigh I let out with the Daffy Duck. Are we rapping? We rapping? We rapping?
I thought that was kind of funny.
It's just one of those things. Are we in the 2000s still? Where the concept of like, oh, hey, remember this thing that's like super not trendy? Well, now it's going to do a trendy thing. Now it's doing hip hop. And it's like, and like you look at the costumes, it all looks 90s and 2000s shit.
I don't get why it wasn't
so
modern
much of the humor
enough.
Feels pre-packaged from 10 years ago. And it doesn't work.
I mean, a lot of their biggest properties really were big more than 10 years ago. It's the same recycled shit. It's the same thing as the title A New Legacy. It's like, no, it's not. It should be Space Jam, a conglomerate Warner Brothers production.
Hey, Space Jam, HBO Max. But with that, Devin, I think we've reached the ending portion of this episode. So,
I would agree.
Final thoughts and a letter grade.
Final thoughts. LeBron can act when he wants to. I believe it. I'll die with that thought. He's done enough commercials. I think he could have. Yep. Agony. I think he could have, done more. It's like, I know he's an athlete. Oh my god. You should make one where it just says Space Jam at the bottom.
I love these so much. They make me happy.
Yeah,
There's only
I do
15 tweets.
I think LeBron probably could have brought it more if he really thought he was going to make like a generational kids movie like Space Jam. Pretty much was. I feel like everyone's seen it. A lot of people love it. It's probably very nostalgic for some people. Storyline was fine. Algie's motive or plan eventually incredibly confused me and just dissolved, which I didn't care for. I liked Don Cheadle himself. Liked all the Looney Tunes stuff. Like, as someone that wasn't a big Looney Tunes cartoon like kid, I still found like a ton of like fun. I'd say like throughout the movie, not overwhelming fun, but you know, I knew it was a kids movie before I sat down, and I ended up having fun with it. And like those characters are cool and they're funny, and it's like they have their stereotypes and their bits and shit like that. Like when Porky was rapping and he was like dropping a beat, I was like, that was cool. Like that feels like. I know you don't like it. I know you don't like it.
It barely would have been funny 10 years ago. It like it's
maybe I'm too unsophisticated for.
No, it's not that you're unsophisticated. I'm glad you found it funny. I wish I thought it was funny.
Oh, I wish I thought a lot more of this movie was funny, but like some reason that stupid thing got me pretty good. Overall message was good. Ended on a good note, I suppose. Are the Looney Tunes in real world now? Maybe.
I hope so. I
That'd
hope
be
that's
fun.
the third movie. I hope we get like a Looney Tunes back in action sequel now.
So overall, it was okay. It was okay. I'm gonna give Space Jam: A New Legacy a C-.
All right,
Hey Jared, how you feel? Are you underwhelmed?
This movie was like, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of excited for a Space Jam sequel. And then I saw a trailer and I was like, oh, it's a commercial. Cool. I don't care. This is going to be bad and I'm going to laugh at it. It was one of those, like, I don't know what to make of it. You know, like, these are one of those movies that, like, I want to give it an F. But I also had a blast watching it. And that is the thing that I have to hammer home. I had so much fun watching this dog shit movie. I laughed my ass off through most of it. I had a blast. Not like my dad sitting right next to me. And again, it's like every 30 seconds. Hey kid, do you understand that joke? No. Are you familiar with The Matrix? No. You ever seen Mad Max? No. There's a one scene where like one of them turns into MC Hammer. Real, you know, topical, cutting edge joke. You know, he turns into MC Hammer. I'm like, hey, do you know who that is? Do you know who he's dressed like? Do you get that joke? Do you know what that's from? No. And then I just kind of looked at my dad and I'm like, who the fuck is this movie for?
Everyone.
Who is this for? Everyone and no one all at the same time, and that's kind of impressive.
It's for everyone that can afford an HBO Max subscription or has $10 for a movie ticket in their pocket and nothing to do on Saturday.
Well, because of that and because of the fact that I am torn, I am going to give it a C- like you, I think.
Nice.
I can't bring myself to give it anything higher.
I can't bring
myself to give it anything higher, but like I enjoyed it too much to give it anything lower. But I also didn't like it for the reason I was supposed to.
There's redeeming and like damning things going on in this movie. So like I don't know. It's a give and take throughout the whole movie. I feel like they give me something I like, and then it's just like more bullshit. And then they give me something I like, and it's more bullshit. And then I'm confused for a portion of time. Or not confused, but maybe disinterested. And then like something I like comes back around again. it's just like an inconsistent thing throughout, and it's because they made it for everyone. So like, you know, I don't know. I think as far as like making jokes or doing bits for parents, they missed. And by missing with the parents, they definitely missed with the kids. So I think a C- is like beyond fair for this movie.
I'm glad you think so, because I know I have a lot of feelings.
I didn't know you cared so much whenever we first were talking about Space Jam. I get it.
These are the kinds of movies that break me. These are the kinds of movies that break me, where it's like, this is terrible. I fucking loved it.
The Wild Wild West.
No. Wild Wild West is, I love it even though it's terrible.
Isn't that what you just said?
No.
No, you love it even though it's terrible.
Even though it's bad. Okay. This is bad, and I love it because of its badness.
Gotcha. Different strokes. I get it.
Those are very different flavors of bad movie.
Different MOs going on.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Wild Wild West, I will defend it to high heaven. I'm aware that it's bad, but it's trash, but it's my trash. It's trash that I unironically love. Like, I unironically love that movie. There is so much irony to when I say the words, I loved Space Jam: A New Legacy. Because most of it is based around, oh no, this movie's bad. But like I cringe laughed at Granny doing Matrix shit because it's stupid and horrible.
I'm pretty sure during that part, my buddy got up and went to the bathroom and like said something to me when he was walking away. And then I looked back at the TV and just saw her like, you know, in the Karate Kid pose, Trinity pose, essentially. And I was just like, isn't this like the third Matrix reference in this movie?
Oh my God. And then LeBron going, she is the one. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I don't know a person under
that might have been what didn't work for me. That might have been like when you asked me that question, I think she is the one I was just like, okay. I'm pretty sure that was it.
I can't think of any teenagers who have seen The Matrix, let alone a child.
It's like, it's not a bad thing. It just came out 20 freaking years ago.
And if this movie came out 20 years ago, that reference might have made sense. But alas, time has passed. And we still got a year or two until the fourth one comes out and for people to give a shit about The Matrix again.
I'll tell you what, they better not fuck that up. I'm incredibly nervous.
Don't hold your breath, buddy. Where can the lovely people find you?
Guys, you can follow me on Instagram at Devin J. Armel. You guys can follow me on Twitter at DevinArmel1. You can also just Google me. Jarod, where can they find you?
You can find me Googling Devin at DunkJevin2552 on Twitter and Instagram.
Oh my God.
You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and at our website, www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where, if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon page. Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus, the people who hear this a week early. Case and Breon, happy belated birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday.
The Waffle Wizard, Delta 9, Zach Canals, and our latest $10 patron that Devin hasn't gotten to witness this bit for. Thank you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around or desert you.
Was that for you?
Someone paid $10
for you to do that.
Made that their name.
Wow. I like that guy.
Whoever that is.
Whoever that is, we are like very appreciative.
Listen, I'm never going to say no to a $10 patron.
No.
Especially
Customer is
one
always right.
Especially one with that much style. Heroic History 101 will be back soon. Versus Series has a new episode coming out this week when you're hearing this in the main feed on the $5 tier, and you get the audio commentaries at the $5 tier as well. And very soon we'll be back to our monthly theme reviews where we'll be jumping right into Indiana Jones month. So stay tuned for that. Very, very, very excited to do Indiana Jones month. What else is going on? We will be doing more movie reviews on this show that are going to be more like this one as well. So lots of movie reviews, lots of stuff like that. Yeah, thank you all. So, TeePublic, go student store, get merch, please. We love you very much. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you all so much for listening, and cut.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar!